PWG had their Bolo weekend. AAA was all over that, as we had, Comandor there. We had Aramis there. We had Bandito there, Vikingo, Black Taurus. It was won by TNA's Impact's Mike Bailey. There were reports
who also wrestled for AAA back in the day.
Yes. There were reports that Bandito might have suffered a minor neck injury night 1. He woke up day 2, obviously feeling the effects of it. Him, Vikingo, and Taurus kind of taking their classic match on the circuit here. I believe they wrestled at the Ric Flair final match. We called their match at Triple Mania, the 4-way, and they went out there and PWG tore the house down. AAA's guys really coming to America and getting a lot more attention.
I buried PWG on Twitter and got posted. Okay, and this is my point. Okay, bro, you all saw the clips, right? So, do the fans? Are the fans inside the guardrail at that show?
I believe there's no guardrail. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at that going, and you got fans getting aggressive to the wrestlers, and the wrestlers are literally kicking at the fan, like striking the fans.
How are they getting aggressive? I haven't seen this.
Getting in the face and stuff.
They went after Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia obviously is doing the I'm a sports entertainer thing that he does in AEW. He did that at PWG. There was fans around the ring when he was up there, and one fan kept on, giving him the finger, giving him the finger. Garcia kept on kind of fly swatting his hand away with his foot. Got a little aggressive with the kick. The guy got angry. It was.
No, but one of the wrestlers knocked the guy down though.
Yeah.
And one of the guys goes, so bro, I'm watching this, and I tweeted why is everybody looking at PWG like this is some big deal? This is like an indie show, and it did look like an indie show. Yeah, the wrestlers attacking the fans, and the fans are trying to attack the wrestlers. What the f*** is this? This is come on.
PWG's thing is very it's very cult-like following. It's very they don't stream any of their stuff on pay-per-view. You have to wait for the DVDs to come out, or I believe now it comes out on high spots because back in the day, obviously Ring of Honor would let their talent wrestle there when they would let them wrestle nowhere else. It was a place where you could see Dragon Lee when he was in New Japan. Him and Cabanero had matches there in PWG. It was a place for kind of the melting pot of super indie guys, as I would call them. The guys that are traveling around and making a name for themselves. They bring Japan guys over. But
unfortunately, if you open the door to this, this is a place where you can get right up in the wrestlers' faces. Yeah. Right at ringside. That's not good.
Let me just say this, though. But let me just say this. I've been to PWG, and not because they have AAA wrestlers, because they don't ever check with me. They talk to them directly. So that talks about the talent that we have. Yes. But that's not a normal occurrence at PWG shows. This is that doesn't normally happen. People, they get wild. They get into the thing. I've seen some of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. My problem was with PWG is that after the 4th match, I was PWG'd out. Because after you've seen everybody do every incredible move that's ever been invented or could be invented, you're like, what the f- is next? And that's the one problem I had with it.
Everyone's hitting home runs. Everyone's trying to be the all-star matchup. There's no structure from match 1 to match 8.
That's why, for example, that's when I like the Best Friends because they actually had a gimmick. And I remember one time I think it might have been Candice LeRae and Joy Ryan, I think. And they were fighting, and it was, I believe Chuck Taylor was going to hit Candice LeRae, and the other guy was like, "You wouldn't hit a woman, would you?" And he goes, "No." And he leaves. And then he comes back dressed up as a woman. It was hilarious. And they would do like that. That I liked, but when it's great match after great match after great, you can actually get tired.
Yeah, but it was a nice showcase for AAA guys. Obviously, PWGs where the super diehards watch their wrestling and see that you had Michael Oku from England there. You had Takeshita. Michael Oku. He's a wrestler from England that had a really fantastic match with Will Ospreay, I believe, at Revolution Pro last year.
Michael Oku?
OKU.
All right, sounds Japanese.
Yeah, but he's I believe he's from England.
Right.
I know he's a European guy.
Right. But
he was there. So yeah, nice little melting pot of guys there.
Well, that's a great place to go see talent because I remember one time I was there and Regal was there and Cayman Seaman or whatever the
Seaman, Canyon.
Yeah, Canyon Seaman was there, just scouting talent because they knew right there was great talent.
And the other thing I want to bring up, I would have brought it up last week, but with the Dragon Lee signing with WWE, I mean, Disco and everybody's favorite guy, Dave Meltzer, I was listening to something he was saying about it, and he was comparing Dragon Lee in WWE to Bandito in AEW and talking about how luchadors are going to be watching how each guy is treated to see where they have a better shot at being a better star.
They already are.
And I thought that was very intriguing. Thought it was very interesting. Obviously, the luchadors are very close. They have no problem making new stars with each other here in America. You see that in their matchups. They're very selfless with getting the next guy over in America and getting them a shot to come here and get some shine. So it's going to be interesting to see the next couple of weeks because obviously Bandito's fighting Danielson next week. We assume he's probably going to lose, which I think makes him like 0 for whatever on AEW TV. But that's how.
But if his star ratings for the matches are good, it's supposed to help his character. I want to make a point.
Yes, please.
Because I tweeted this as a joke. Because like people don't know that me and Don Callis, if you didn't know that me and Don Callis poke each other on Twitter a lot, and it's funny, But they had a spot where Don Callis was talking to Takeshita backstage, and I jokingly said, "Hey, make sure you got to teach him to speak English. He needs to learn how to speak English, right?"
Right.
And then I made another comment, like Don Callis made fun of my English and me on the show, stumbling over my words and stuff. And then I said, okay, well, write that's great for Takeshita, write him a promo. Well, that's me and Don just kind of joking with each other, right? Yes. So everybody kind of looked at that as like, oh, Disco, you're racist and everything. So then MJF on the show last night kind of like echoed kind of like my tweet, like told Takeshita, you got to talk American.
Okay? Are you MJF's Don Callis?
But I'm just saying. The fake outrage from the people getting on MJF is like, well, he didn't need to do that racist promo. Look, Konnan will attest to this, okay? And this is not racist. The foreign wrestlers that do not speak English, you are going to increase your marketability and your popularity if you learn to speak English.
Yeah.
It's an American audience. That's not a racist. That's not they learn these guys, especially the talented ones, should learn to speak English. Because they might become big stars. Because a lot of these Mexican guys are good looking. They're
Bandito's a supermodel.
That's what I'm saying. Learn to speak English, dude. It's not hard to do these days. With all the programs you can get on. You put your earphones on and stuff
and the thing is, like for people that say, okay, somebody can't get over if they don't speak the language. I've always gone back to Muda and Gary Hart, right?
Right.
But Gary Hart could cut a promo. Most of these guys can't have. You have
like
Abraham Abrahantes talking for Pentagon and bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, if you had Paul Heyman,
right?
But they probably would be. But you can't.
We're all the good talkers for the managers.
If they're not going to give you a good talking manager, dude, you need to learn how to talk for yourself. Then, right? So that's it's common sense. So
there was a great angle in the '70s in California, I believe, with Roddy Piper and one of the Guerreros. I want to say maybe Hector, where Piper comes out there, obviously a heavy Spanish crowd back in the territory days in the California area, and he goes like, I want to apologize for everything I've said about the Mexicans and your heritage. Let me play your national anthem on the bagpipes. And he gets on there and he starts playing La Cucaracha.
Yeah, that was
and the crowd goes absolutely bananas. Right. To me, that worked in the 70s. I don't know if stuff like that works in 2023, but that's on a performer also to start adjusting to the times and what the audience wants. And I get what you're saying and your intentions are right, and what you're saying is accurate. But I do think that there are people, especially the audience nowadays, that's very sensitive to things like that for whatever reason.
They are.
And it's our job as performers to a degree.
Because people today want to be offended and bitch about something. They're easily offended, and they just want to be able to, can you believe what bro, it's all fake outrage.
That's why you should stay off there and just not even worry about your mentions. Just go do what you do and make your money.
He doesn't. Yeah,
I know. He enjoys it too much.
Disco is a master troll.
Yes, he is, but he's good at it, and he gets mentioned on national TV
master.
now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you were trending last night too, Dio.
I was trending last night. Isn't that ridiculous? Because MJF cut that promo on the guy. I was trending because I had that tweet with Don Callis. Isn't that hysterical?
Yeah,
I'm like, come on.
I think you might be MJF's Don Callis. So like Don Callis has Omega. You might have MJF, and we're just discovering this here on the Keeping It 100 podcast.
But what would these fans do if I bought a ticket, was front center row at AEW pay-per-view, and MJF was wrestling for the title?
They would say that you save your WCW money a lot. They're very proud of you.
No, they would call me jobber, irrelevant. That's cool.